Hello everyone, welcome again to another Teacher Joseph video clip. This week's lesson is all about the suffragettes, and these are the people who are fighting for the rights of women in the late 19th century and the early 20th century. And you can see here, I'm looking at a statue of Queen Victoria. It's been erected in my town. And Queen Victoria, of course, was a woman of her time and a very famous one. Yet she was very against women's rights. She said that women have very different vocations in life. And she said even though she was a woman and a leader, she was very against this idea of women having the same rights as men. In fact, she wrote to some of her politicians, including the Prime Minister of the day, and some authors as well, to state her disappointment about the suffragette movement, stating that women are very different people and should not be allowed to manage. Now we're just going to have a little look around this statue here. So you can see here, she's actually facing away from the town. And I'm not sure if that's because she hated it or if it's simply because she had died. I'm not sure. Let's have a little look around and see if we can get any clues. Well, we can see the sculptor's name was F.J. Williamson, and she certainly was a very well-remembered woman, judging by this statue, or I should say monument. It says here, presented to the inhabitants of Paisley in memory of our late, dearly beloved Queen and her long, prosperous, glorious, and reign. Yeah, April in 1901. So you can see there that she certainly was very well remembered. So she died when they put this up, which may be why she's looking away from the town. And on this side it says, the statue is the gift of John Baird Hunter, MD. So he must have been a doctor of some kind. So yeah, she was very against this idea of women being able to vote and women's rights. And no doubt, had she lived longer, probably she would have been able to quash the movements or stop it somehow. If you've been reading my weekly lesson, then you'll know that this movement of suffragettes was often violent, and it was that which took the movement forward. And in fact, after one of the women died, throwing herself under the king's horse, things changed, and that would have been after the time of Queen Victoria. It would have been in the time of Queen Victoria's son or grandson. So there we are. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I think her son was Edward the 7th and her grandson would have been George the 5th. So I believe it was George the 5th's horse that somebody threw themselves under. So no women's rights in the time of Queen Victoria, but they very quickly gained ground and gathered enough support to be granted the vote in, I think the first time was 1913, and then later everyone was given the right to vote. Not just women who were over 30 or who owned property. And there we are. So today's affirmation is all about learning English. Please do have a look at it. Today's affirmation says, I learn English well. And I want you just to hold on to that. I learn English well. It's very important that you believe that, because if you don't, you're not going to get very far. And there we are. Another question, of course, is what motivated these women? What pushed them, really, to be doing all of this kind of stuff? Because it's something they believed in. And that's a question for today. How much do you believe you're worthy of English? Do you believe you can really do it? You can really get what you want? It's something to consider and something to think about. See you all. Bye.